Have you ever stared at your life and thought, why does everything feel like it's falling apart? The plans you had? Gone. The confidence you built? Shaken. The version of you that used to make sense? Feels distant. And everyone keeps telling you, you're lost. You're broken. You need fixing. But what if they're wrong? What if you're not falling apart? What if you're breaking free? Because the truth no one tells you is this. Growth doesn't look like glowing up. It looks like unraveling. It looks like confusion. It looks like loneliness. It looks like losing people, beliefs, dreams, and identities you thought you'd keep forever. And that's not failure. That's transformation. There's a moment in every real transformation where you feel completely lost. Not the cute, I don't know what I want for lunch kind of lost. The deep, existential kind. The kind where you wake up and don't recognize your own life anymore. You don't fit into the old routines. The old conversations bore you. The old dreams don't excite you. The old version of you feels like a costume you've outgrown. And instead of seeing that as progress, you think something's wrong with you. You start asking dangerous questions. What happened to me? Why can't I go back to who I was? Why does everyone else seem fine except me? Here's the truth. You're not malfunctioning. You're outgrowing the environment that once shaped you. Imagine a snake shedding its skin. It doesn't happen smoothly. The snake rubs itself against rocks. It looks stuck. It looks uncomfortable. It looks like something's wrong. But that friction isn't damage. That friction is freedom. If the snake stayed in its old skin, it would die. The very thing that once protected it would become the thing that suffocates it. That's what's happening to you. The habits that once kept you safe. The people that once felt like home. The beliefs that once made sense. They're now too tight for the person you're becoming. And your discomfort isn't a sign of brokenness. It's a sign of expansion. Insight number 1. Here's the first uncomfortable truth. The version of you that worked before cannot survive the life you're stepping into. You're not supposed to feel comfortable right now. You're not supposed to feel certain. You're not supposed to feel put together. You're supposed to feel messy, uncertain, raw, unfinished. Because clarity doesn't come before growth. Clarity comes after you move. You don't get a map for becoming a new version of yourself. You build it by walking. Relatable moment. Have you noticed this pattern? Right when you start questioning everything. Right when you feel disconnected from people you used to love being around. Right when your goals feel meaningless. Life throws you into chaos. Breakups. Career confusion. Loneliness. Unexpected changes. Loss. Pressure. And you think, great, I'm lost and the universe is punishing me. But chaos isn't punishment. Chaos is the demolition phase. Before something better can be built, the old structure has to come down. Insight number 2. You feel broken because you're standing between identities. You're no longer who you were, but you're not yet who you're becoming. And that in-between space? It feels like death. Psychologists call it the liminal space. It's the hallway between rooms, the pause between breaths, the silence between songs. It's uncomfortable, it's disorienting, and it's exactly where real change happens. Most people run from this phase. They numb it with distractions. They cling to old relationships. They shrink themselves to fit old boxes. And that's why they stay stuck. Turning point. What if instead of asking, what's wrong with me, you asked, what's trying to be born through me? What if your anxiety isn't weakness, but energy that no longer fits into your old life? What if your sadness isn't failure, but grief for the person you're shedding? What if your loneliness isn't abandonment, but space being cleared for new connections that match your future self? The pain you're feeling isn't random. It's purposeful. Insight number 3. Here's the part that hits hard. Every level of your life demands a death of the previous version of you. The habits, the excuses, the coping mechanisms, the relationships, the self-talk. You don't evolve by adding more. You evolve by letting go. And letting go feels like losing everything. That's why people mistake growth for destruction. You're not behind. You're not defective. You're not a failure. You're brave enough to leave a life that no longer fits. Do you know how rare that is? Most people stay miserable because it's familiar. Most people stay small because it's safe. Most people stay trapped because at least it's predictable. But you chose uncertainty over suffocation. You chose confusion over comfort. You chose growth over familiarity. That's not brokenness. That's courage. Realization. Right now, it feels like you're losing everything. But look closer. You're losing old patterns that kept you stuck. Old beliefs that kept you small. Old relationships that no longer align. Old dreams that weren't truly yours. You're not losing your life. You're losing the cage. Practical shift. So what do you do when you feel lost? You stop trying to fix yourself. You stop rushing clarity. You stop forcing certainty. And you start doing 3 things. 1. Listen instead of panicking. Your discomfort is information. It's showing you what no longer fits. 2. Move without a perfect plan. Take the next honest step. Clarity follows action. 3. Release what no longer aligns. People, habits, dreams, identities. Not with anger, but with gratitude. You're not lost. You're between worlds. You're not broken. You're breaking free. Free from a version of yourself that outlived its purpose. Free from expectations that were never yours. Free from a life that no longer matched your soul. And one day, not far from now, you'll look back at this chapter and realize, this wasn't the moment you fell apart. This was the moment you became real. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're not lost. You're becoming. And becoming is messy. But it's also the beginning of everything. Grow quietly. Rise daily.